Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're all well. Today I basically wanted to share with you what my career journey in social work has been. I do have a lot of videos sort of educating you guys on social work and stuff like that. And every now and again, you would find snippets of what kind of work I've done in the past and where I'm at now and stuff like that. But I just felt like if I'm here to give you guys some tips and tricks, then it's probably worthwhile having a video explaining to you what my experience have been since I graduated out of uni, and where that's at and what my plans are for the future as well. So yeah, I hope you guys find this video beneficial, and let's get right into it. All right. So I graduated out of uni about 3 years ago, approximately 3 years ago, and I only have a bachelor's degree in social work. I haven't done my master's yet. I don't know if I will, because I feel like most of the things that I've learned has been on the job and not necessarily at uni. So I'm more keen on getting into different fields and exploring that and finding out what's out there through that, rather than incurring another debt by going to uni. So masters can wait. For now, I'm fine with my bachelor's degree. So yeah, whilst I was at uni, I did work in youth work. So I was a youth support worker, and basically my role with that was I was responsible for children that were living in a residential home. So children that had been taken out of their parents' homes due to safety concerns and have been placed under the care of the minister. And through that, they're in a residential program, and we as youth workers are responsible for teaching them daily living activities, being a mentor to them, taking them to their appointments, teaching them different skills, linking them into different day-to-day programs, and basically building relationships with them and being there for them. So that was basically my role in that. I did that for 2 years, and I did get a lot of understanding around that side of social work, and I was able to take that on to my next role. And it was good to have that on my resume as well, because coming out of uni, that was the only job that I had done that was sort of related to social work, so it was quite beneficial having that on my resume. So after that, I went into casework within that same field. So I was a caseworker for young people that were in a residential program, and at this stage I had graduated university, and my role in this was a little bit similar, but I was more responsible for the formal side of things, so the paperwork and making the big referrals, liaising with psychologists and other service providers that may be linked with the children, and liaising with youth workers as well to find out where the kids are at and what kind of supports they need. So it was still very much based on building relationships with the children, being a mentor to them, referring them to appropriate services, and being as supportive as I could, really. So I did that for 10 months, and that was a maternity leave contract. So once the person that was permanent returned, I had to leave that. And then I got into I worked with asylum seekers. So I did that for another 10 months. It was initially meant to be a 6-week contract type thing, but it kept being extended. So in the end, I was there for 10 months. So I basically worked with people that had left their countries for safety reasons and had been detained in islands like Nauru and places like that. And then after they're released from Nauru into the Australian community, we basically help them settle into the community. So ensuring that their health is intact, linking them into appropriate services, making sure that they're getting the necessary financial benefits from the government and all that. And that role was a very big eye-opener. I feel like I didn't really know much about asylum seekers prior to doing that, so it was just good to have that understanding and to just understand how marginalized they actually are, and how what's the word, deprived, I don't know if deprived is the best word, but how deprived they are within the Australian community. So I was able to provide some support to them in that setting. There was a lot of crisis counseling involved in that, and just basically linking them into services, because as you would imagine, because they've left their countries, they don't know what services are out there and what supports are out there as well. So that was interesting as well. I did that for 10 months. And then after that was when I got into the role that I'm in now, and I'm called an intake counselor. So it's basically social work with a little bit of counseling, really. And I work at a women's health center, and our core business is domestic violence, even though we deal with all different issues as well. And it might sound like I've been jumping from one job to the other, but that's not the case. It's just because I've been in like contracts a lot, and that's why. And on the positive side of that, I feel like I have a wide range of knowledge in different sectors of social work, and that's what I stand for, really. I feel like social work is so broad and there's so many places to get into, so why not, why stay in one job for 10 years when you could have experience in other sectors? So that's my take on that. So I definitely enjoy going from one sector to the other, and that's fine. I think 2 years is a good time to stay in a job, and then it's time to move on. And probably when I'm 50 or something, then maybe I might settle in one job. But for now, I just enjoy going into different fields. And I also think that another reason why the contract thing worked for me at that time was I was traveling a lot more as well, so it was easier for me not to have that commitment. And I feel like this is the perfect time to do that. I'm not married, I don't have kids, all that stuff, so it just worked to just work for 10 months, go traveling for a bit, come back and work again, go traveling for a bit, you know what I mean? So it just really worked for me at that time, and I think that's something that I have the freedom to do now. But in a couple of years time, I'm probably gonna be married and have kids and do all that, and I'll be limited in being able to do those kind of things. So yeah, I think like going from one job to the other kind of works for me at this stage. So yeah, as you can see, I've had a fair amount of experience working with different groups. My current role is very different to all the previous roles, so this one involves a little more counseling, but still there's an element of case management and that, and it's more specific to domestic violence as well, as I said before, and feminism and all that. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. And where do I plan on going? I think I have enjoyed where I've been so far up until now, but I think that I want to maintain, the values that I have around social work, the feminism, social justice, empowerment of women and children, all that stuff. I would like to move towards working for myself because I enjoy the work that I do, but I would like a little more freedom. I feel like yeah, I'd like to have a little more control around what I'm required to do and where I want to go with my work, and with the finances as well. It's a very important aspect. I feel like, yeah, as you all know, social work doesn't really pay that much. So yeah, I think that's where I'm heading towards. So I'm not sure exactly what that will look like, but I know the core business of whatever I end up doing would be empowerment of women and children, social justice, feminism, all that stuff. I also think in working for myself, I will have the freedom to not have to be there in order to be able to provide support. So I think because I'll have the freedom around, how I want to run my business and how I want to support people, I feel like I won't necessarily have to trade my time and use that to be able to support people. Because I feel like, let's say I work 8 hours a day, I'm probably only able to support, let's say, 5 women a day. But then if I start working for myself, I might have the flexibility to support a larger number of people over a shorter period of time than I would if I was just doing my regular working for an organization or working for the government or whatever. I feel like I could spend less hours working, but at the same time impacting a bigger number of people. So yeah, that's where I'm heading towards. But yeah, let's see how that goes. I'd love to know where you guys are at, whether you're at uni or whether you're doing a master's or a bachelor's in social work, whether you're working and what field you're working in, and where your goals are, like where you would like to end up eventually. That, so let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.